Fisher. Welcome to a Reentry Point of View. I'm here with my guest today, Pastor Darien Thomas. How you doing?
Good. Good morning to you. How you doing today?
Man, it's an honor to have you here. This is one of my mentors, but this also is a good friend of mine's. I asked him to be on the show today because doing my research about reentry in the city of Philadelphia, I discovered that Southwest Philadelphia has the highest return and reentry rate of individuals coming back home. Right here in the heart of Southwest Philadelphia. This gentleman right here can tell you his story, and he can tell you what's out here and what's not out here. Pastor Thomas.
Good morning, Tracy, and good morning to your guests, and to your host. And I'd like to say that Southwest Philadelphia is the lowest end of Philadelphia. We have a situation like this in statistics, and I realized that Philadelphia lives under the poverty level of all the cities in the United States. Right now, present as we sit here today, 30% of the people in Philadelphia live under the poverty level. And Southwest Philadelphia is the lowest of the lowest. What also we found out in our research was that Southwest Philly is not only the area where there's unemployment, but we have the largest return citizen rate than anywhere in Philadelphia. Now, what we're looking to do is, in the Eastwick area of Philadelphia, is to be able to provide jobs and technical jobs, green technology training for returning citizens, for veterans, for all those that are unemployed and undertrained.
Wow. So give us the history of Eastwick, where you from.
Okay.
What is Eastwick and where is Eastwick?
Right. Eastwick is in the far southwest corner of Southwest Philly. We sit here at the airport, the post office, 95. We sit right in the center of commerce that's in Philadelphia, yet still we have the lowest unemployment rate in Philadelphia. Eastwick, the history of Eastwick is that back in the 50s, the mayor along with the commissioner has something called the unemployment,
No, keep going.
We have not only is Eastwick the area where it was employed, but we had 110 businesses left the community.
And what year was this?
This was from the 1950s to the 70s. 110 businesses left the community. We had 37 churches and 10,000 people left Eastwick. Now we have over 200 acres of land, okay, and there's a lot of politics involved with this here, but this could be the hub for not only Southwest Philly, but for West Philly, okay, where we can have clean energy job training, we can have manufacturing, we can have housing on this 200 acres of land. 2 school buildings and 200 acres of land undeveloped that can right now today start people with employment and work just even today.
Now, what school buildings do you speak of?
I'm speaking of Pepper School and Contact, which is formerly Wolf School, used to be elementary school. Those 2 buildings sit there right there with 40 acres of land empty for the last 5 years now.
Now, to your knowledge, do you know any plans for that property?
Well, we have a plan. There are others who have an idea, but our plan is to look at the older building and put senior housing, senior living. We have a lot of seniors in our community that don't have adequate housing. And we also have the main building, which we will be able to put manufacturing, green technology. We have a place for returned citizens. We have a place for foster children when they're coming home out of foster care. We have green technology training, and we partnering with organizations like with hydroponics training and working along with the Jeff Brown and other supermarkets and other businesses in the area.
So when you say we, who's we?
Okay, we is Walking the Light Christian Center, along with Gateway to Reentry, and also International Institute for Advanced Instructions.
Okay.
We're working together in partnership as a CDC, as a faith-based organization to bring jobs and technology to not only Southwest Philly, but to West Philadelphia and the city.
Now, what generation are you out here?
Well, I'm the 4th generation, but I have grandchildren now, so that makes us 7 generations from Eastwick. We were here when the city came in under the Redevelopment Authority, and they basically just waste this land, and nothing was put back in here.
So let me just throw this out there. Let's just say, okay, the city decides, okay, we're going to give y'all the program, give y'all the land.
Mhm.
What's the first thing you're going to do?
Well, the first thing we do, we're going to rehab Pepper School. That building was built in the 70s. The structure is strong. Okay, we will do a rehab of Pepper School, and we will also put senior living in the older school. Along with that, we identified already the land already that we could put what they call workforce housing. We found out that when families have home ownership, okay, they do better, and the community does do better. And so we will have home ownership. We will have a training program where we will be able to get individuals coming home from incarceration, where they can not only work on the job, but then they can have a home where they can have home ownership.
Now, most projects like this would cost the city. Would this project cost the city, or do you already have your own financial backing?
Well, yes and no. We do have funding to purchase the building and to do the rehab. We have that in place. However, the city has been given close to $1 billion for green technology, okay, and they're sitting on this money right now, okay, and they're looking to do, and it was an article came out in last year's paper that they have 10,000 jobs, training jobs available with that funds that are there. And all we're saying is let the city allow us to tap into those funds. We have the training vehicle, and we can get people to work and train right away.
Now, you say they've been given $1 billion. Is this public, made public? Or
Yes. It was public, but it was placed in a little small community newspaper where City Council, along with the mayor, stated that they had this funds for 10,000 jobs, training jobs in the next 10 years.
Now, how long ago was this?
This was the fall of 2016.
And it's still just sitting there.
And it's still sitting there.
Untapped market.
Untapped market. Matter of fact, the mayor was on one of our local radio stations, and he was being interviewed, and they're saying that they will see that the inner city will be able to be the ones who will be able to get those training jobs. Right. But we haven't heard anything as of yet.
Now, with all this out there, what do you need from the Eastwick community to understand what you're trying to do?
What the Eastwick community need to do is, the fact is that we need to bring back to the community what was taken away. Right now, the average person in the Eastwick area has to walk 1.5 miles to go to the store. We have one plaza. We have one school, one elementary school. Our middle school was taken away from us. Our high school was moved out of there. Okay, we have very little housing in our community, and so we want the city to know that we're ready to rebuild this community to make it a viable community where our young people will have something to do as far as training, recreation, and housing.
And I noticed out here in Eastwick that there's a lot of senior citizens.
Yes.
Is there any medical facilities out here close to them for them?
We have one medical facility, which is a small clinic, but we don't have anything major for our seniors. Most of the seniors have to go out of the community for any type of care.
And because I'm big on voting and I'm a super voter, that just means I vote in every election. I noticed that some of the highest voters turnout is from Southwest Philadelphia.
Yes, that is true. We have a large middle class community that's very, very versed in as far as voting, getting out to communicating with the council people, the mayor, and they stay on top of it. But we also have a large block of individuals who are not participating in the voting aspect of getting those into office.
Now, that's a lot of acres to be not, for people not to want to be a part of this. So when you have individuals such as yourself that sees this as an opportunity to actually remove poverty out the community, how does it make you personally feel when you see others try to take advantage of it for financial gain?
Right. Well, first of all, I found out that the people who want to take care of it for financial gain, they don't know the story. Okay. The story is that we had individuals, my family members, became sick and ill when they were forced off their home. We had people who committed suicide when they were forced off their home. Our area was a multicultural, multi-ethnicity community, multi-faith. We had people of every faith that lived in this community. We had individuals who didn't know how to even go up to other parts of the city. Everything we had was here, okay? And for now to be, and I know my calling was to come back in this community where my mother still lives here, who never left here, who experienced the revitalization of this community. And people have died, and people have given their lives to live in a community where they can grow and educate their children.
So it actually sometimes is very frustrating to see individuals that try to, financial gain. But I also know it's very wonderful when you have a meeting and the community turns out for the benefit of Eastwick. How does that make you feel?
Well, first of all, there's individuals that come, but you have individuals with their own personal agenda. Okay, and when they have their own personal agenda, what happens is they don't need room for compromise. Okay, what I've been able to do is work with all the community groups so that we can bring them together and make sure that as we and our organization, as the lead organization, that will include everyone. Because each one of the organizations out here, they have excluded each other. And you will never get anything done if you're excluding everybody. So in our plan is to include each group out here, that each group have a benefit. One has issue of flooding, another has issue of housing, as far as sinking housing. Another one have other issues of just wasteland. And we have a solution where we can bring them all together and everybody will benefit.
Well, one of the issues I have with Eastwick is this. I came to quite a few meetings out here, and I have a joke that everybody laugh at, but it's real serious. The only thing Eastwick can agree upon is that the grass need cut.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that makes me upset with Eastwick in a whole. Every time something comes on the table that we can benefit from and remove poverty from the community, and if all we have to do is come together as one, we don't do it.
Right.
How did the Marriott Hotel get built out Eastwick without all the groups agreeing on it?
Well, the thing about it is, you got to look at this. And, all those groups don't speak for the whole community. Okay, you have one group got 4 or 5 members, another one got 10 members, and they feel they have the majority, that they speak for the whole community. And they really don't speak for the whole community. So therefore, because they don't speak for the whole community, when the Marriott Hotel, Wawa, other organizations can come in here, while those little splinter groups are fighting, they come in, okay, and then they build, and they move on. And then yet still, nobody from the community benefits from it. But this is where we got to break that thing. We got to change that ideology. That's why we're deciding we're going to do what we have to do, and those who want to come along, we'll work with them. Those who don't want to come along, it's going to get done anyway.
Right, and they can benefit from it later.
They're going to, exactly.
This reminds me of a story when I was away, and I had a friend. He was a Jew, and he was a very, very wealthy man, and he didn't want to be black, and I didn't want to be Jewish, and we both understood it, and we was very good friends, and we ripped the Band-Aid off when we spoke to each other about his people, about my people. Wasn't disrespectful or anything like that. It was just one of the most purest, honest relationship I have ever had with the individual. And one thing he told me, my last week or so when I was incarcerated, he said, "Tracey, I'm gonna tell you something. If you tell anybody I told you this, I deny it. But this is what he told me. He said, when it comes to our people, blacks, he said, 90% of y'all are followers. 10% of y'all are leaders." He said, so what we decided to do is separate y'all and give 5% of the leaders something and the other 5 nothing. So the 5 that receive something is so grateful that they won't give the other 5 anything.
Right.
So the other 5% that didn't receive anything is upset now. So now they go to bickering, to fighting, and so forth, right? So now while the 10% is fighting each other, which is normally the leadership, we neglect the 90% that needs leadership.
That's right.
That's when they come in. And he said, that's why you got Chinese stores and poppy stores and all kinds of stores that's not of your own culture inside your community.
That's right.
He said, how is your community so poor, but every other nationality comes there to get rich?
That's right.
And this is the mind frame I came home with. And I say that to you. How do you feel about that, seeing that literally taking place right here in Eastwick?
Well, let me tell you something, Tracey. Personally, I feel is that our generation have to change this thing. We cannot allow this curse, as I call it, okay, to pass on to our next generation. We have a moral, God-given responsibility to break this thing in our generation. Okay, I have no problem with Asians supporting Asians, Italians supporting Italians, Africans supporting Africans. But the problem is that we don't support each other. And so what I'm saying is that if we don't take ownership in this generation now, our next generation will be further behind than we ever could be, and they will never be able to catch up. So we have a mandate, we have a moral obligation to make sure that we have ownership, that we build it, and that we manage it. That's where we are. Own it, build it, and control it. If we don't control it, okay, we're going to leave our next generation behind, and they're going to come with a debt that they'll never be able to catch up. So it's not about the politics, it's not about ideology, it's about a mandate for our generation of people, African people who live in this country, to make sure that we don't pass this down to our next generation. We have that responsibility.
Absolutely. And here's what I'd like to ask you. With all that technology coming in, right, and you can build it at Pepper and so forth, how does that affect the returning citizens economically?
Well, Tracy, I've been involved with prison ministry for over 25 years. And sadly to say that we have failed those who were incarcerated. We promised them, you come home, we got a job. You come home, we got training. You come home, you can go back to your family. But you come home back to your family, you don't have any means to take care of that family. Okay, you're going back to the street. So what we're saying is that the green technology, this is where the world is going. Okay, we are so far behind when it comes down to technology and green energy. Okay, but this, the trades, the skills are there for our ex-offenders to learn. So when they come home, we don't have to give them an empty promise. We don't have to go up and down the corridors and tell them, when you come home, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. But when we come home, we don't have nowhere to send them. We don't have no housing for them. We don't have no jobs for them. We don't have no training for them. Pepper School, Eastwick community could be the hub for all of the city of Philadelphia to make sure that these young men and women, when they come home, that we don't have to lie to them, but they can have a place where they can go and they can be trained and they can go a place where they can have a good income to support their families.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yes.
That's why I'm going to partnership with you.
Yes, that's right.
That. Also, I noticed that you and I are big on feeding the community, especially our senior citizens.
Yes, that's right.
How are we going to implement that in there as well?
Well, one of the things is that we built a relationship with our seniors in Southwest Philadelphia. Like I said, the monthly program that right now that's where we feed the hungry, feed the seniors once a month and give them groceries and so forth. We have a relationship with the wholesale produce companies where we be able to go once a month and bring produce, and everything helps the seniors. Even as a chaplain at the Southwest Senior Center for 14 years, we serve over 100-something seniors every day, okay, where they can come to a place where they can be able to have a relationship and they can have recreation and all the other things they need to know. One of the things we found out is that, that when you give them that meal, or you give them the produce, that's money that they don't have to take out of their pocket for utility bills, because they're on a fixed income. Every dollar helps. We see them sometime when they come into a program where they take the lunch and they take some lunch and they put it in their pocketbook, so they can have something to eat later on that night.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And so we're looking to do even more. We would like to have a Sunday program where the mothers used to have nice meals, where we could take a meal to them, okay, on a Sunday, so that they can have the collard greens and fried chicken, or they can have the little meal, baked macaroni, and have to go through the whole process. But we can have a meal we drop off to them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Those are things. We got to take care of our seniors, and our seniors, we have a good relationship with them, and those are the ones that get out and vote.
Absolutely.
Those are the ones that come out there faithfully and vote. Yep. And so we have to take care of them, and I think our program that we have in place is now one of the things I like to do also, we have senior men who don't have nowhere to go in the evening time. We like to have a place for them to come. They can watch the old fights and and
play chess and
pull, and they can kind of like have a place to go, because right now they go to McDonald's in the morning.
Right.
That's where you see them.
I noticed that. I noticed that. I really did. I really noticed that. So they looking for a place of comfort and belonging.
Yes.
To be there.
That's right.
So is this a mission for you, or is this just something you do?
This is a mission. This is our life. Our teaching is faith without works is dead. Okay, people can talk, but it's the works that speaks for itself.
Great.
You know, and if we take all the politics out of it, people have needs, and we want to make sure. That's why the foster care system. That's why the returned citizens. That's why the seniors who are our elders. Okay, who are mostly widows.
Right.
You know, that's what we serve.
So for individuals that's watching this broadcast and they wish to get in touch with you, how do my audience get in touch with you?
Well, I have a number that I've been keeping for a long time, and that phone number is 484-431-0609, and my email address is Darien Thomas, DarienThomas @AOL.com. Walking the Light Christian Center.
Wow. And on that note, I'm Tracey L. Fisher. This is a reentry point of view. Thank you.